Shalom, Yashala. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Ahmath. I acquired first name. IQ is all the same. You've reached Don't Shoot the Messenger, episode number 114. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why you have a shot? That's right. Episode 114. We're in the building. It's a hump day, Hebrew hump day. Hopefully, everybody's well today and is making it through this week, that we have to labor through and toil through until we reach our Sabbath. If you've came into the house, man, you know what time it is. You know what to do. Don't make me repeat myself. Please don't make me do that. You know what I need. I need you to wipe them feet. All right, I've repeated myself. I'm going to say it. Wipe your feet on the mat, man. Do your brother a good old solid and hit that like button for me. Hit the like button so we can maintain a presence on this wild metaverse / digital sphere matrix. Help us make a be continued voices crying out in the wilderness by hitting the like button, triggering the algorithms, keeping it the notifications going out to other subscribers who haven't been getting their notifications. How ironic is that? People are being unsubscribed from the channel. Notifications aren't going off. There's all kind of madness going on. But that's only par for the course, man. We've gone into it. We talked about famine in the land, not of bread and water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. That's going on as we speak. Times very interesting. You see the headlines. Russian media is already declaring World War III has begun. Russian media has declared World War III has begun. And Russia, the same, arm of quote unquote propaganda, is declaring that they're going to wipe out America utilizing the Satan II ICBM missile to destroy America. They're already declaring what they're going to use. So let's get to some of these stories, man. That and more. We won't be before you too long. I'm not going to be before you too long, but I do want to cover some of this information, man. We're going to get right to it. All right, let me share my screen and let's get to it. Let's see here. All right, boom. So check this out. Let's look at the video real quick.
If you're not making $158,000 per year, but you'd like to, I strongly encourage you to start a bookkeeping business.
Я вам скажу компетентно, абсолютно, что на уничтожение всего восточного побережья Соединенных Штатов нужно 2 ракеты «Сармат». 2! Точно столько же и на запад. 4 ракеты. Все, там не...
Are y'all following along? Hold on. Let me wind it up a little bit. This is the Russian media acknowledging the threat or the actual fact that nuclear wars began and Satan II missiles on deck. They're talking about they're going to need at least 2 to 4 to knock out America. You can see at the bottom. I will competently tell you.
Я вам скажу компетентно, абсолютно, что на уничтожение всего восточного побережья Соединенных Штатов нужно 2 ракеты «Сармат».
That to destroy the entire east coast of America, he said they're going to need 2 Sarmat missiles are necessary. So those are 2 of the Satan II missiles.
2! Точно столько же и на запад. 4 ракеты. Все, там не будет ничего.
4 missiles, there'll be nothing left. Huh? This is how they turned up on their news. You go turn on channel 2, 4, 6, whatever, 2, 4, 7, 11, and 13. You see how the media is on our side of town. Go look at Cool Nigga News, CNN. Go look at Fox and MSNBC. See the propaganda and the talking heads and the Mockingbird media, and see how they turned up. America's not ready. America's gonna be destroyed, man.
Не надо рассказывать, что вот этот гриб будет выше небоскреба. Он будет виден из Мексики у вас этот гриб. Вы что, ребят? Смешные такие. Они чем пользуются вообще?
You hear what he said? He said the mushroom cloud is gonna be seen all the way to Mexico. Now, hold on. Let me see something real quick. Look at this. Revelation 18. Let's read 16 down. It says, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. It's talking about from Revelation 17, talking about the great whore, which is America, that adorns itself with the precious stones and the purple and the fine linen and the scarlet, that tries to, outside looking so attractive, the land of milk and honey, where everybody wants to come to, where everybody's desiring, where your dreams can come true and be fulfilled, where everybody wants to sip a little cup of the wrath of the fornication. Everybody wants a little piece of America. Huh? Don't they always say that you want a piece of the pie, right? Well, what pie are they talking about? The pie of that great whore. It said this great city, reading on verse 17, it says, for in 1 hour, so great riches has come to naught. Well, we're already seeing rapidly how the American economy, the U.S. economy is shot to hell. World economies are being shot to hell, man. The crashing of the crypto, the crashing of the markets. You just seen Janet Yellen come out and say, oops, I made a mistake about inflation. We thought it was going to be transitory and temporary. Him and Jerome Powell, the heads of the Federal Reserve, he said it last year. I've quoted him and played a video of him last year, back in the summer, damn near a year to date, where he said, yeah, we're going to have inflation, but it's only going to be about a couple of months. It'll be transitory, and we'll get out of this, and the economy will be back strong. Don't worry. Now they're doubling down, saying, oops, we made a mistake. Actually, we underestimated this inflation. So if they underestimated the inflation right now, they're already on top of their lies. So if they're already willing, and they try to play like this is some noble act that you come out and tell the truth now. Oh, oops, we made a mistake about the economy. Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty bad. Well, if they didn't know about the damaging effects of the inflation that was already kicking in over a year ago, how can they even tell us how bad it's going to be moving forward? Think about it. You had Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan. He came out and he said, oh, yeah, it's going to be a hurricane. It's going to be pretty bad. The question is what category hurricane is it going to be? It's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of how bad it's going to be. Do you understand? This is why the time of vigilance, this is why the time of awakeness needs to really be prevalent in the minds of the children of Israel. Because our people have no idea what's coming down the pipeline. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Reading verse 17 again. It says, for in 1 hour, so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. So they're going to see the complete collapse of America in rapid time. Verse 18, it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this city? Did you just see what he said? Russian propaganda? He said, you'll see the smoke from Mexico.
Не надо рассказывать, что вот этот гриб будет выше небоскреба. Он будет виден из Мексики у вас, этот гриб. Вы что, ребят, смешные такие. Они чем пользуются вообще? Вопрос в другом, что они пытаются довести до всего, да? Повышают ставки. Повышают. А мы что должны сказать? Ой, ни в коем случае только не это. Ну так что ли, или что? Вы собираетесь, если мы... мы должны не вестись, говоря простым мы не ведемся. Мы просто им объясняем, что, ребят, вы неправильно считаете. Считать надо вот так, а то они по-другому. Не надо себя в иллюзии тешить. Ничего там не будет. Вот что надо говорить, объяснять.
There'll be nothing left. No one harbors any illusions about it. So, this is Russian media. These are their talking heads. So this isn't necessarily coming from the military arms, but this is from their talking head media. This is the propaganda that they're promoting. But it kind of lines up with what the scriptures are saying, how the scriptures say that this place is going to be impacted by warfare, is going to be impacted by thermonuclear heat, let alone by the final judgment of the Most High and Yahushua and the angels. You know, the whole earth is going to have to be purged, but America is going to be a perpetual smoking, uninhabitable. Let's finish this real quick. And verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of its costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. This is what we got to look forward to. Verse 8:21, it says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. That's the fate of America. It said with violence. So you wonder why, you know, you get all these shootings going on. You're hearing about the threats of nuclear war and the bombings. You're seeing the insurrection of racial tensions going on. You're seeing the famine, the pestilence. You're going to see the high crime rate, the heinous crimes coming up. You know, America's going to face a harsh judgment through violence. Thus saith the Lord. And the Most High said that the holy apostles and prophets are going to be avenged through that. See? This is the place where there's going to be weeping and wailing, the great city where everybody was getting rich at, the harbor of ships. You know, all the imports coming to America. You think they're worried about selling Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benz and all that over there in Germany? Hell no. They're trying to move that stuff over here. And Audi. They make it and they know America's going to buy it. Apple, Toshiba, you know what I mean? All them Samsung, Vizio. Who's buying all this stuff? Who promotes it the most? Who's making the other countries rich off of this stuff? This place is known for its imports. You seen what happened when the ports got shut down during the pandemic a year ago, last year I should say. The ports in Long Beach, San Pedro, all those tankage ships, that was all held off, and how bad that affected the economy and continually does. This is that great city. No other cities is making the other nations rich by their imports, by them selling and importing their goods to another country. America is the place. The great whore is the one that makes everybody feel good. Huh? So this is what this propaganda is about. Okay. See, nuke showdown. Russia threatens to wipe out the entire U.S. with just 4 Satan II missiles and a chilling warning over the Ukraine. And one of the reasons why they're up in the ante on that is because Slow Biden flip-flopped on whether or not America was going to send long-range missiles to the Ukraine. Long-range missiles in which they threaten the security of Russia itself. Well, hey, if you give them, the Russians is already over there invading, they bombing, they doing what they got to do in the Ukraine. Now the Ukraine can even score and actually launch some missiles that can hit Russia. And Russia is saying, well, guess what? Who we got to blame for that? If we arm them up with those, if they get armed up with that, who do we have to blame? Oh, America. So it's like, okay, America, you want to increase the smoke? You want to increase the threat? You want to actually start arming by proxy our enemies to be able to have Russia be bombed? Oh, hell no. We can hit you too. You understand? That's where we at right with it. A chilling moment on Russian state TV on Monday saw hosts issue the latest in a long line of threats, this time warning Putin could destroy the entire East Coast, that's supposed to be coast, I don't know why I say cost, of U.S. with just 2 missiles. In footage from Russia's flagship propaganda show, a member of Russia's parliament boasts about the nation's military might before also labeling 2 million Ukrainians as incurable. Do you understand? So look at it. That's what that's what they're working on. That's the threat. Okay. Let's look at this. Okay. More on their media. They're saying Russian propaganda declares World War III has started in a terrifying Kremlin TV threat. See, didn't we just cover the story about George Soros? You know, famous so-called philanthropist who likes to fund all of the he likes to fund military, or actually, regime changes, who likes to fund all of these little bogus woke groups like Black Lives Matter, like Antifa, and the rest of them. Occupy Wall Street. I don't know if he gave them some money. I wouldn't be surprised though. You know, he's probably out here funding these anti-abortion groups, or these pro-life, or pro-abortion groups. So, he's always in the mix, throwing his money around. So, we covered a story last week where he was talking about World War III. If it goes down, man, Putin's got to be stopped. America won't survive. Millions of people are gonna die. Hold on, let me get that real quick. In case y'all didn't see it, you don't remember. Yeah, look at this real quick. Well, you see here, George Soros says Ukraine war may be the beginning of World War III. Billionaire financier and philanthropist George Soros has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine had put civilization in danger. Soros, 91. I mean, this old. This is that old money. These are these old Edomites, man. 91. I mean, he was around when we was getting lynched, hung, burned. Huh? He was around during segregation. You feel me? So he is fully aware of the plight of the children of Israel, the true Jews, and he's a Revelation 2:9 himself. That was rumored to have sold his people out, and gave the Germans access to destroying his own. He collaborated with them. So, that's the type of character that this guy has, right? So, if we're talking about, how old this cat, these old damn Edomites, man. I mean, he was around for the Great Depression, and these cats are still dictating policy, man, influencing world leaders, training up the next generations. Old money. See that? 91 told his annual dinner at the World Economic Forum from Davos, Switzerland, on Tuesday that the war has changed the world irrevocably. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I think I am. My bad. Irrevocably, I guess. I'm tired of trying to figure it out. And that even when the fighting stops, the situation will never revert to that status quo. Indeed, the Russian invasion may turn out to be the beginning of World War III, and our civilization may not survive it. You don't think? Well, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the one that is the beginning of it that followeth. To quote 2nd Ezra, I believe in the 6th chapter. He said that Putin's invasion has shaken Europe to its core. Well, there you go. And now you got Russian propaganda. They're saying the war has already started. Well, tell us something that we don't know, because NATO is actively involved by proxy in this war. America is actively involved by proxy in this war. You know, China is by proxy involved in the war by their support of Russia, by buying their oil and supporting their economy, keeping Russia alive. You know, Pakistan, Iran, Syria, they're involved by supporting Russia. Venezuela, Cuba, they all chose sides. So you tell me, has it really started? Propaganda from a Russian TV show has claimed that the war in Ukraine is over and that the new goal of Russian forces is to demilitarize NATO, with the news anchor saying a real war has started. See, that's propaganda. That's BS. They know damn well the Ukrainian war is not over. So that's why you still, these still devils, man. You can't tell what they're talking about. But the fact of the matter is that what they really are trying to help everybody understand is that the war with NATO was already began. A Kremlin TV propaganda piece has claimed World War III has started and that Russia's horrifying task is now to demilitarize NATO. Russian television anchor Olga Skabiev of Putin mouthpiece Rossiya 1 claimed on camera that the war in Ukraine, known in Russia as a special military operation, is now over. Skabiev argued that the West's provisions of arms to Ukraine meant that the special operation has spilled over into a global conflict as Ukraine showcased new British Wolfhound heavy tactical support vehicles. The anchor's tirade was broadcast on Rossiya 1, where she claimed Russia were being forced to demilitarize both Ukraine and NATO. There she go right there. I mean, that's the face of a devil too. Look at her. So, she's trying to help everybody understand and know NATO is getting involved. America's getting involved. And now Russia is saying, well, we've got to move on. We've got to move on and start focusing on NATO. Look at this foolishness, man. Vladimir Putin may be dead with a body double taking his place, MI6 bosses claim. I mean, they playing all kind of games with this war, man. So let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So as we're seeing with the push for gun control, once they let the zombies out, always during the time of elections, and I've said it before, the Democrats always look to capitalize on the deaths of our people, on the deaths of children. Just recently, just today, they said that the police chief over there in Uvalde, Texas, and the police force have stopped cooperating with investigators regarding the shooting down there. Oh, y'all didn't know that? Hold on. Because that's pretty telling. That's pretty telling. That's like when you get indicted and the police grab you up and they start questioning you and you say, you know what? I want a lawyer. They have to stop questioning you. But is that an admission of guilt? Is that an admission of a cover-up? Is that an admission of saying, you know what? I'm not going to say anything that might actually expose some things that I wasn't supposed to do. So let me just be quiet. Let me just be quiet. Look at this. So as they're running around here trying to grab, introduce gun bans and, got the actresses and the actresses out there. You got even these rappers running around talking about Republicans and Ted Cruz and them liking guns and all that. These niggas is the ones who's on these damn rap songs talking about sticks and poles and 100-round drums and drug sales and drug usage and disrespecting the women and the whole nine. But now I want to stand on moral soapboxes talking about how and why we need to get control of these guns. What? When the rap music nowadays is, in many instances glorifying the use of weapons. So, they get to mobilizing these cats out here, man, and they're gonna have campaigns on TV and commercials on YouTube. Is gonna be flooding your what you're watching on YouTube, and Instagram and TikTokers is gonna be let loose. We've covered that. We know the White House uses social media and utilizes TikTokers and all of that. They got a TikTok army that they're gonna be using to gain the narrative of saying, hey, you shouldn't be able to protect yourself or your home or your family with anything but a telephone call to 911. Well, again, how did that work out for the brothers and sisters that got smoked over there in Buffalo when the 911 operator was hanging up? Now we see in Folly that went down there with the police chief and the officers down there in Uvalde, that they admittedly said we dropped the ball on this. We could have, it should have been handled differently, and yeah, we could have saved more lives and all this other stuff. And their answer is, well, guess what? It's the gun owner's fault. Unbelievable. And now, once they get an investigation going, the police chief says, I'm not cooperating no more. I plead the fifth. I want a lawyer. Uvalde School Police Chief criticized over school shooting responses, not cooperating with state investigation, Texas DPS says. Why? What happened? Huh? Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. So in Canada, they're always the first ones, man, to bend over for the beast. Canadian PM Prime Minister Trudeau announces legalization to freeze handgun ownership, buyback assault-style weapons. So in Canada, man, he done already came right out and said, pretty much, we're banning the sale, the transfer, the shipments, and all of that of any handguns in Canada. So Canada's cut off from here moving forward until further notice. So they already moved forward with the gun ban. And it ain't even assault weapons. He said a handgun you can't even have. Meanwhile, this cat, in a particular province, I don't know if it's him, but they got provinces that they just passed in Canada legalizing hard drugs. So it's okay for you to get high and destroy yourself that way, but you can't have a gun to protect yourself. I mean, how backwards is that? How backwards is that? I ain't had this one prepared, but guess what? We're gonna go there. Look at this. On small amounts, huh? Look at it. They got the heroin, they got the pills. You stay doped up. That's all good. As long as you can be zombied out, man, out of your damn wits and mind, so that they can manipulate, control, and dangle, dope on a string, you're fine. They'll take your guns as long as you can get high. Fair exchange, huh? In the times when crime is going crazy, theft, murder, robbery, rape is up like crazy, and they saying give us your means of protection. And here, take this crack pipe and take this these needles. This pack of pills, man. Go get high with that, man. Go sit in the corner. Drown your sorrows away. Canada approves drug decriminalization test in British Columbia. Canada's government said Tuesday it will allow British Columbia to try a 3-year experiment in decriminalizing possession of small amounts of drugs, seeking to stem a record number of overdose deaths by easing fear of arrest by users in need of help. Well, who are they following? The great whore. Hadn't America already done that? We covered stories about that. You see Joe Biden, when he signed over that bill, that they were going to be giving drug kits out and safe zone spaces for people to go get high. So you can test your fentanyl to make sure that it's pure, so that you can go over there and shoot up your heroin, so you can go pop your pills, so you can go smoke your weed, so you can go smoke crack in safe zones. And they'll help facilitate everything and anything you need. You need a rubber band or a belt to tighten up your arm so that you can go ahead and hit that vein. We got it for you. Need clean needles? Got it for you. You need a lighter? Got it for you. You need a good spoon? No problem. Don't worry about it. Oh, you need somewhere to lay down after you got super high and you can't function. You need to go sit down somewhere here. Here's a cot in the bed, man. Go enjoy yourself. You need some tissue for your nose because the damn coke done, got your nose running and nose bleeding. Okay, here's some tissue. This is what they're saying is okay. This is what they're saying is not okay. And you don't even hear about no damn mass shootings or heavy crime with guns in Canada like that. I mean, give me a break. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday that his government is introducing legalization to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership throughout the country. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. But you go to British Columbia, though, you can definitely go copy some dope. As long as it's in legal amounts, it's all good. We recognize that the vast majority of gun owners use them safely and in accordance with the law. Oh, you recognize that, but still, they need to be penalized, huh? Okay. But other than using firearms for sports, shooting, and hunting, there is no reason for anyone in Canada should need guns in their everyday lives. I guess there's just no crime. I guess nobody's being robbed. Nobody's, getting raped. Nobody's homes is getting broken into. They're basically saying crime doesn't exist. There's no crime that happens here in Canada. So there's no reason that you should have a gun. Unless you're going out and hunting for sport, there's no need. We're in the perfect utopia. Or they are. You understand? Look at this demon, man. There he goes. Canadian Prime Minister of Safety, Marco Mendicino, also said that a mandatory buyback program for assault-style weapons will go into effect later this year if the bill passes, calling it Canada's most significant action on gun violence in a generation. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? And look at slow Biden. Look at this damn wicked turtle-looking heathen, man. Biden goes on an anti-gun tirade and suggests there's no rational basis for 9mm now. Huh? I thought it was just they were so concerned about AR-15s and AK-47s. They was only concerned about their assault weapons. Now he's even doubled down and said there's no reason why you should even have a 9. You shouldn't even have a pistol. Back when Obama was in office, he was talking about, he was against the ARs, but said, you should just have a 12-gauge shotgun, and that should be good enough. What is he on now? No rational basis that you. So read between the lines. They're coming for everything and anything when they're going to make limits on not only, magazine capacities, ammo, how much ammo you can buy, gonna make stuff so damn expensive that you can't afford it, let alone, the licensing and everything else. They're going to up the ante on the prices and all that. They're just going to make it real hard for what is allowed. Now, they probably going to grandfather in some things that you already may have. But future stuff, like they're doing in Canada, oh, nothing. They don't want you to have a thing. But that's one of the final stages of a complete takeover is when you disarm the public. Now, the government is free to do whatever they want. Whatever they want. But that ain't even scriptural, man. That ain't even scriptural. It's in Luke. That ain't even scriptural. Yeah, let me read let's read 35. That ain't even scriptural, man. Verse 35. This Yahweh speaking in Luke 22. It says, and he said unto them, when I sent you without person, scrip, and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said nothing. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. So Yahweh said, man, the disciples was packing. They was packing heat. I mean, you see when Peter chopped off the ear of the priest, I mean, he was a skilled swordsman. Can you imagine being able to just take out your sword, make a clean swipe at something as small as an ear on an individual and not cut anything else off but the ear? I mean, these guys were skilled too. So again, it's not even just about having the things, but make sure that you're responsible and at least learning how to use them or practicing so that you're not just out there saying, flossing and showing off. And you don't even know how to load the damn thing or zero in your sights. I mean, I'm not going to speak too much more on that because I don't want to shed no light where it doesn't need to be. But, if you know, you know. You understand? If you understand where I'm coming from, you should know where I'm going with it. American slow by saying that there's no rational need that you should have a 9mm. Canada's saying you don't need no guns at all unless you're doing hunting for sport. We're perfectly fine over here, man. This peaceful utopia over here is just like Demolition Man of Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone days. Where there's nothing happening, everything is peaceful, right? But Yahweh said differently. He said, man, there's going to be times when you go out and I sent you out and you didn't have anything. He told the disciples, man, don't take purse, script, don't take nothing with you, man. Get out there and do the work. They went out, he said they ain't like nothing, man. They were fed, they put in the work, and they came back and they said, man, we didn't lack anything. So we said, okay, well, this time around, take everything. He said, take your script with you, take your purse. Hey, who is everybody packing? Oh, you lacking? Okay. Go sell a garment, man, and go buy a sword so that you can be prepared in the time of need. You understand? But Slow Biden saying, you don't need no sword. I'll protect you. You don't need it. When all hell breaks loose, man, and you're trying to make sure that your household is secure, you don't need that. President Biden ranted against ownership of what he called high-caliber weapons Monday, appearing to suggest that there should be restrictions on the most popular handgun in America, the 9mm pistol, and repeating a previously debunked claim that the Second Amendment prohibits ownership of cannons. Speaking to reporters outside the White House after returning to Washington from a weekend that included a visit to last week's mass shooting in Texas, Biden recounted a visit to a trauma hospital in New York where he said doctors had showed him x-rays of gunshot wounds caused by various firearms. They said a .22 caliber bullet will lodge in the lung and can probably get it out. may be able to get it and save the life. Biden said a 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body. So the idea of these high caliber weapons is there's simply no rational basis for it in terms of thinking about self-protection or hunting. The president went on. I mean, we're tired of listening to this mealy mouth, man, fork tongue creature over here. As he's going to sit back and tell you, pretty much, you can have a 22 at this point. See how that's all scaled down? Oh, we're coming for the ARs. We're coming for the AKs. We're coming for, the M4s. And now we got to drop it down. No, we want those. And, oh, by the way, give us those nines too. Give us the nines as well. You can have the 22. You can have maybe a double barrel shotgun, man, where you can shoot two at a time, and that's about it. This is where they're at with it. So they're trying to fight and surrender a war here on the land, and they got wars going on across seas. They're making enemies of everyone here in America, man. Let's look at this last thing. And expect to see more of this. Expect to see more of this, as we've seen. U.S. marks Memorial Weekend with at least 12 mass shootings. So did the hype of Uvalde stop anything? No, because they're not done yet. They still letting the maniacs fly. I mean, shoot, it's mass shootings in Chicago every other weekend. So why are they not over there focusing? How come they not flying over there from their perched, elevated, windows from the White House? Why they not flying over there to Chicago to stop what's going on? They have a shootouts in New York, man, every other weekend too. Why they not going there? They letting the things fly over here too in Cali. You just seen shootouts in San Bernardino, shootouts in downtown, shootouts in Orange County. Where are they at? No, they don't want to talk about that. U.S. marks Memorial Day weekend with at least 12 mass shootings. Do you see the hypocrisy, though? Or why we know that it's politically motivated? Because these shootings is happening all the time. But all of a sudden, because it happened to the kids in the school, now it's a political issue. Again, when's the last time they brought up the Buffalo shooter? Have we heard about that of late? Is that even being included in the Uvalde shooting storylines? No. Because there's 10 niggas that got killed. White boy, they're going to probably let off on, they're going to probably lock him up on some pleading insanity. And meanwhile, the beat goes on as far as, can we capitalize and politicize this, man, and utilize Black death and Hispanic death, Black and brown death, to furtherly promote the agenda of the so-called white man and the uplifting of his kingdom. That's really what's going on. 12 more mass shootings over the weekend. They just had another shooting at Xavier University. There was a graduation. So clearly, man, they letting the damn zombies and the wind-up dolls go for broke until there's enough people crying and saying, save us, America. And meanwhile, they're the ones, starting and allowing most of this to go down. I mean, look, they can't even get the damn chief of police over there in Uvalde to cooperate. That should be telling you something, that something ain't right with what's happening over there, how they handled the whole situation, some of the background story about how this whole thing played out. You see in the story about what happened over there in Buffalo. The cat was on chat rooms, man, and yeah, undercover or ex CIA, what was it, CIA or FBI agents that's in the chat rooms with him, and hate group chat rooms, knew and understood he was going to come. He was planning something. More than likely had knowledge of their manifesto. 911 calls getting hung up on. You understand? Then you hear about they mishandled and messed up the whole thing Uvalde. Then they said, well, we're going to have to make an inquisition about this and find out what happened. And all of a sudden, nobody's cooperating no more. Very interesting. Very interesting. 12 mass shootings happened over this past weekend. They're going to make sure that they capitalize on this. See, a mass shooting is defined as 4 or more people being shot or killed, not including the shooter. So anytime they classify a mass shooting, it's when 4 or more people are shot or killed, and it doesn't include the shooter. So they're tallying these up, though. See, at least 8 people have been killed and 55 injured in the mass shootings over the holiday weekend, according to GVA, which is the Gun Violence Archive. It says in local news sources, since the Uvalde shooting last Tuesday, at least 11 people have been killed and 67 injured in mass shootings. So, you know, they created the definitions. They create the understanding on what it means to be or have a mass shooting. They tell you what it is, and, you know, and then all you got to do is sit back and think, oh, it must have been 20 people got killed. It must have been 15 people. It must have been at one instance. So clearly that's not the case, because they said that 8 people had been killed over 12 different events. But they're saying 4 or more people shot or killed, not including the shooter. That should be understood as in one instance. So, for instance, I go to McDonald's, I let the things fly, I done shot 4 people, 2 died, I get away, that's considered a mass shooting. Now they have 8 people, 55 injured. Okay, so maybe that's how they, out of the 12, most of them were injured, because it did say shot or killed. I'm thinking just killed, but nonetheless, you see what it is. Okay. Wow. So here we go. The time is now. You see what it is. You see what's happening. Russian media is out here declaring World War III has already started. We're seeing evidences of deliberate plans to seize and capture your means of protection for your household, yourself, right? You see, the narrative has changed from not only assault weapons, but slow Biden saying even your 9s, we need that. Canada's already on board. They already did it. And all they're waiting for is the complete approval through their political system. But as of right now, they've already done it. Meanwhile, they're saying they got the approval for people to get high. You can do your hard drugs, man, and go out on a whole little, whole stupor. But can't protect yourself, though. So there you have it, y'all. Hump Day. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. While Yahweh Shai, man. This is episode number 114 of Don't Shoot the Messenger, DSTM. If you have not already, man, make sure before you leave, wipe your feet, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Make sure that you've double checked your notifications and your subscriptions. YouTube, again, has been on the prowl, messing around with our movements over here. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. Make sure that you continually fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't ever shoot your messenger.